So China clearly has a lot on its plate. You would imagine Xi Jinping would focus on fixing his economy. But like most leaders with inflated egos and misplaced priorities, he's busy with Pakistan, specifically at the LoC, or the line of control. This is the de facto border between India and Pakistan. And this is where China is busy. Doing what? Helping its all-weather ally Pakistan. China is helping build defense infrastructure along the LoC. It is installing communication towers, setting up unmanned aerial vehicles, laying down underground cables and building underground bunkers, doing all the groundwork basically. And that's not all. China is also giving Pakistan SH-15 truck-mounted howitzer guns. They're known as shoot and scoot weapons. These will be deployed along parts of the border. Now, I know what some of you must be wondering. What is China doing here? After all, this is the border between Pakistan and India. So why is Beijing ramping up defenses here? Well, if you know China, you already know that they have an excuse. They say this is for the safety of Chinese enclaves. These enclaves are located in POK, that is Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. And why were they built here in the first place? To secure CPEC projects. CPEC stands for the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. It's a bilateral project between Pakistan and China, ostensibly to improve Pakistan's infrastructure and boost China's trade. But it's also a debt trap. And more importantly, it's a violation of India's territorial integrity. New Delhi has long opposed CPEC because these are Chinese projects on Indian territory occupied by Pakistan. But China, as always, has paid no heed to India's concerns. Today, India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh was in Jammu. He once again called Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, or POK, a part of India. Listen to this.
Pakistan does not have a locus standi there, as it has illegally occupied the area. The Indian Parliament has unanimously passed at least 3 resolutions which state that POK is a part of India.
So that remains India's stance. But Beijing and Islamabad have gone ahead with their project. As problematic as it is, earlier they were only building infrastructure, now it's even worse. Now they're further militarizing the Indo-Pak border. And look at the timing of all of this. China, as we told you, is dealing with a slowing economy, and Pakistan is struggling to remain afloat. They're desperate. They need money from the IMF, the International Monetary Fund. They had a deal, but it expires this week. And they're trying everything they can to rescue it, even revising their budget. Pakistan recently passed a budget. It had no real reform. We told you about it. This budget did not suit the conditions set by the International Monetary Fund. Now, they have an ongoing loan program worth $6.5 billion. It was agreed in 2019. It will expire on the 30th of June, this week. The IMF says Pakistan should scrap its populist subsidies if it wants the remainder of the money. Last week, Pakistani Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif was in Paris. He met with the IMF managing director, and some reports say he met with her thrice. And now Islamabad is back with a new budget. It has 2 key points. 1, generate an additional 215 billion Pakistani rupees in taxes, and 2, cut spending by 85 billion Pakistani rupees. So clearly, Pakistan is working hard to convince the IMF. Their economy is on the verge of collapse. Inflation has skyrocketed. In the month of May, it had crossed a record 37%. The rupee, the Pakistani rupee, has plummeted, and the country can no longer afford imports. Islamabad knows it needs the IMF deal now more than ever. But that has not stopped it from its nefarious plans at the border. You see, for both Pakistan and China, distraction seems to be the answer to their domestic problems. And what better distraction than militarizing India's borders?